it was really a very, very confusing process for me to accept my new body. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Well, first off, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the love. Listen, I just could not imagine the response I have been getting since really being consistent on my channel. I want to thank you guys so much for all the new subscribers, but more importantly, thank you so much for the comments, like for engaging with me on my video regarding how weight loss changed my life. People commented that it was a message that touched them. So many people shared their own journeys, their own weight loss or fitness journeys. And I really think it is so inspiring when we can come together and find community over something like improving our health. I think that is an amazing topic to bond over. This was not supposed to be a weight loss channel, but I do find that it is something that I can talk about at length because it has been such a huge part of my life, but it's also something that I am very passionate about. I love that YouTube is allowing me to create this community of people who feel as strongly as I do, or people that I can just inspire with my journey and just by being transparent and vulnerable on my channel about the ups, downs, good and bad of going through a weight loss journey or just finding a healthier you, because we will be getting to all of it, okay? So let's get into tonight's video. So in this video, we are going to talk about something that is very common among people going through weight loss transformations. Honestly, I don't think that's right. I think it's something that people can deal with at any stage of their life, through any facet of their lives. But especially, I am going to be speaking about it in reference to my weight loss journey, and that is Body Dysmorphic Disorder, BDD, or body dysmorphia. And let's get into the verbatim of it all. So I'm gonna read the definition to you from the Googles. So body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, or body dysmorphia is a mental health condition where a person spends a lot of time worrying about flaws in their appearance. This is something that is very common when going through a weight loss journey, specifically because it is very uncommon that you are present in your body transformation. So especially early on, and this is something that I know from my own personal experience, but also something that I have learned from my training clients and just people that I know personally who have undergone a weight loss journey or some type of major body transformation. Essentially, body dysmorphia is you looking at your body and focusing on every little dip and dimple and roll and crease, and it is looking at every single flaw in your physical appearance and picking it apart. And when I say it is detrimental to a weight loss journey, I am being so serious. I spoke about in my video about how losing weight changed my life, the process of losing 50 pounds in 4 months. So as you can imagine, being that we don't realize our progress in real time, when I looked up after losing that 50 pounds, I was a little confused, to be honest. It's like I knew I was looking at pictures of myself. I knew this was my body I was looking at, but I didn't quite understand how I got there. And I also didn't understand how I still saw so many issues with my appearance after doing what I thought was going to make it all better. Like I said before, I never struggled with feeling ugly or feeling fat or inadequate. I didn't struggle with that before I lost weight, which is ironic. My biggest issue that pushed me to lose weight was the discomfort I had in my body, and it was more so tied to physical discomfort. I shared in that video about me having asthma. I had arthritis. I just knew that I was not my best self. Well, let me take that back. I didn't have issues with my physical appearance until I saw that photo that changed it all. And if you don't know what photo I'm talking about, it's right here. This photo changed the way I saw myself for the first time. And that is why it is still to this day the photo that I choose to use when I share my side by side. Because it was the moment that I realized that I was not living in the physical body that I had always saw myself in. But even in that moment, I wasn't picking myself apart. I was just like, okay, girl, you can do better than this. You know what I mean? And so that enough made me want to make changes. And I think I was under the impression that I would just like, I'm losing weight. What issue could I possibly have with the way I look? So after getting on that scale and finally seeing that I had lost that 50 pounds, I didn't recognize exactly what was going on. I was a little confused when I finally stopped to look at my body, because I had been head down in the gym, the kitchen, you know, I'm meal prepping, I'm working out 5 days a week. Like, I was focused, tunnel vision even. I didn't even take a moment to look at myself in the mirror and really look at the body in front of me. And I started to pay more attention to myself, and I thought that was going to be a much more gratifying and climatic experience, and it really wasn't. It was really a very, very confusing process for me to accept my new body. I started to notice things that I had never noticed before. So like little dips, little dimples, just the way my skin felt, the way it moved, the way my cellulite looked. Things that I know were issues before I lost that 50 pounds, I all of a sudden saw them in HD. They are 1080p. They are 4K, they are high resolution at this point. And I did not know how to deal with it. My response was to do what I had done for the past 4 months, which was to work my butt off in the gym. So I'm going to the gym even more. I'm even stricter on what I'm eating. I didn't want rolls, I didn't want dimples, I didn't want cellulite, I didn't want any of the things that come with a natural woman's body at that point, because I did not understand the body in front of me. I couldn't process it. So it's not something you can compare like at the beginning of a weight loss journey versus the end of it, right? Or close to the end of it, or whatever point you find yourself satisfied. That's a very stark contrast, especially if you've lost over, I would say, 30 pounds. That's a very stark contrast. If you put those two next to each other, it's very clear the progress that you've made. However, when you are looking in the mirror each day, you don't see those incremental changes. At least I didn't. It's something that as I have entered kind of in my weight, like I'm in my weight training era, I'll notice things more quickly. But for those first few years, I struggled greatly with body dysmorphia and accepting the body in front of me. Because the gym had helped me transform so much, I didn't even realize that I was using it as a crutch to continue to perfect my body, which isn't a thing. And I'll be honest, having started this journey back in 2013, it really wasn't until maybe the past 3 or 4 years that I've been able to accept my imperfections and fully accept them. But looking back, I wish I had spent more time falling in love with the process of working out early on, instead of falling in love with the process of pushing myself to my wits' end to yield some type of result that I felt was sufficient. It wasn't until maybe 4 years ago that I really was able to look at my body and see the beauty in the progress I had made, but also see the beauty in the things that made my body real. They're getting surgeries like they're getting ice cream cones, and it's no tea, no shade, right? If you know me, you know I love a good job, I love a good piece of work. However, in a world where so many people are paying for procedures to look perfect, I had to learn how to accept my natural body, completely untouched by science, to embrace the fact that I had naturally transformed, but that with a natural transformation comes dips, dimples, cellulite, the things that make my body real. I had to come up with this for the sake of a client, and I say all the time, personal training is literally a heart project for me. I won't even say a passion project. It is a heart project for me, because it is a position, a job, a role, whatever you want to call it, that has allowed me to grow so much as a person. And I asked her, I said, if you never lose another pound, if you stay exactly who you are today, are you able to say that you love yourself? And when I said that to her, I didn't even realize that I was talking to myself. I was talking to the person inside of me who, even though she had done such a great work with this weight loss transformation, she couldn't accept her progress. She couldn't accept what she had earned. And in asking my client that question, I was really asking myself, are you okay with the person that you are, even though you're a work in progress? Because that is where the beauty in the process comes, right? That's when you're able to be present in all of it, is when you're able to accept where you are, but fully excited for where you're going. I'm not cured of body dysmorphia, right? I'm human. So I'm always going to be able to see where I can improve. But I can honestly say that over the years, especially the past few years, I've been able to find a new way to accept my body. A new way to accept the things that I may not be extra happy about, but also to be blessed that my body still moves, and that if I'm not happy with it, there's still time and there's still opportunity to transform that thing. And if it never changes, I'm still amazing just as I am. And you are too. But anyway, I wrote down some notes for some touch points for today's video. One thing I want to say, no one told me how hard it would be to accept my new body. That's something that goes largely undiscussed in the world of weight loss transformation. We always see these before and after, these drastic changes, but very seldom is the conversation ever presented to be like, okay, you were this size or this body type your entire life, and in a matter of 10 to 12 months, you're somebody totally different in the mirror. Nobody talks about how to accept yourself through that. Nobody talks about how to give your mind grace to catch up to the new version of yourself. But it's something that's very, very necessary. It's okay that you have progress that you still want to make or places that you still want to go with your journey, but it's not okay if you're not loving the person that you are today. So let's kind of go through a bit of a timeline. Pre-weight loss. So this is pre-2013. I'm confident in my size because, like I said in the previous video, I have been overweight my entire life. And so I was finally at a point where I learned how to dress my body in pieces that were flattering, learned how to develop a style that was very comfortable for me. When I started to struggle with realizing what my body had done, the transformation that it had made, was, like I said, after losing that 50 pounds, because that was the first time that I looked in the mirror. That was when the struggle with my confidence started and with my body image issues began. I want to say there were events in my life that helped to affirm me throughout the time, from when I kind of first started having issues with body dysmorphia to when I finally found some peace with it. It had to be like 2018, 2019 that I started to really kind of like settle into myself. And I think part of that was due to age and just maturity. But I think the other part of it was, like I said, that conversation I had with the client where I really had to ask myself the question I was asking her, which is, where you are right now, do you love yourself? Are you happy with who you are right now this second with the body that you're in? Because even if you want to change it, you can't change it in this instant. And so you have to love it through the process. And that was maybe 2018, 2019 that I was able to ask that question. So you're talking about 4-ish years that I really kind of like went back and forth. And over that time, I'm a flight attendant. I'm flying all over. I'm drinking. I'm eating. I'm not working out with the same intensity that I once was. And so during those years, I had some yo-yoing that went on with my weight. I think life was coming at me fast. I will say that throughout that time, it was important for me to invest in the things that made me feel like Crystal. So that was still getting dressed, still spending a lot of time getting dressed and picking out my outfits. Never letting myself go, even if I had gained some weight. So maybe my skinny jeans don't fit anymore. Maybe the curvy ones fit now. But never just being like, oh, throw something on. I made sure I still put effort into what I wore because I knew that that's something that would make me feel good about myself no matter what size I was. So I started to kind of enact some tools and some techniques to kind of like keep my head above water with the whole thing as far as my body and its changes go. 2018, I go to an ortho doctor and I'm diagnosed with arthritis in my knees. I remember feeling somewhat defeated, right? Because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do that. And what took me to the doctor was I went bike riding. I was on vacation with the ex and we went bike riding and my knees were on fire after this bike ride. And I was so confused because I'm like, bike riding is low impact. I don't understand. That's when I figured out I had arthritis in my knees. Shortly thereafter, I had that conversation with my client where it was like, you haven't been able to work out at that same intensity because of your arthritis, because of the pain you've been experiencing. So how are you with the Crystal you are today? How are we feeling about her? Are we still loving her? Are we still kind to her? Are we still giving her grace through it all? That's what I needed in that moment. That's what helped me to get back into the gym and feel confident enough to overcome the pain, the discomfort, and all the things that came with my arthritis. Now, let's talk about how I feel now about myself or about my body and how perspective is everything. When I realized that my body was such a beautiful piece of machinery, I mean, it carries me around day to day. It holds my clothes up so beautifully. It breathes life into my ideas. And it ultimately carries me through life, through the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads. My body is here with me. And so I had to respect my body for what it is. And it's more than just an aesthetic thing, right? That I like how toned my arms look or how round my butt looks, right? I had to respect my body for the vessel that it is and what it does for me on a daily basis. And once I had that moment, it was like everything opened up for me. Or maybe, yeah, I would say about a year and a half ago, I had to start another weight loss journey because I gained 30 pounds. And we could talk about that in another video. I really embraced my body's ability to transform. When I got on the scale last year, early 2022, I got on the scale and I was like, wow, we've gotten back up again. I didn't panic. I trusted my body's ability to get me back even better than I had ever been. And that made a world of difference for me. Where I am now, I am happy, I am confident, I am pleased with what I see in the mirror, albeit still room for improvement. But I am pleased with the body I see in the mirror. I'm happy with how it looks in clothes. I'm happy with how it looks outside of clothes. And that's all I could have asked for, is a space and an opportunity to appreciate the body that I have in all of its imperfections. That's what true confidence and true content looks like. It's trusting that the body that you have is good enough right where it is, even if you want to make it better. So I'm going to give you 3 tools that kind of help with body dysmorphia, acceptance, and all of that. Number 1 is going to be positive self-talk, right? My motto is talk to yourself like you love yourself. Talk to yourself like someone that you love. So the way you speak to your parents, your siblings, or somebody that really brings you joy, talk to yourself that same way. Look in the mirror and say, damn, you look good. You know what I mean? Look at your butt and be like, I like that right there. Talk to yourself like you love yourself. Talk to yourself like you appreciate yourself. And when I say, even if you don't believe it now, you say it enough and you'll start to believe it. Watch what I tell you. Talk to yourself like you love yourself, and keep that throughout your life, right? Not just through your weight loss, not just through your transformation, but throughout your life. Positive self-talk is a game changer. Number 2 is going to be, and this might be controversial, I am not afraid to ask my significant other or my friends how something looks on me, because I am a firm believer that sometimes you gotta get those affirmations where you need them. So if I put on a pair of jeans and I'm kind of unsure about it, girl, what you think about these? Are these cute? Because sometimes you just need that little bit of affirmation and confirmation. So I am unafraid. I don't fish for compliments from just any old body. But when it comes to those moments where I'm kind of finding like a little, I don't know how I feel about this thing, I'm going to ask somebody to give me a little boost. Give me a little something. And you can even have people in your life that you know are the best cheerleaders, right? These are people that always big you up. Call them. Call them and just talk to them. Or even if you want to ask them how something looks on you, don't be afraid to use the people around you to uplift you in those dark or those tough times. That's what they're there for. So I am not afraid to allow my friends, my man, my family, whoever, to big me up when I need it. And you shouldn't be afraid to do that either. My last thing is going to be journaling and meditation. So when you are in a space where you are not the most happy with yourself, where you're seeing areas of improvement, you're kind of being a little overly critical to where you're not giving yourself any space or grace to just exist in the body that you have, then I encourage you to try journaling and meditation. And journaling for me looks like this. I love a good brain dump. So if I'm just having a flood of thoughts that seem to be inundating me, I'm going to jot them all down just to get them out of my head. Brain dumping is a great way to journal if you're somebody who's not necessarily sure how you want to approach journaling. I would say get a notebook and just write until your brain feels empty, especially pertaining to your physical appearance, if that is something that you are really, really struggling with. Also, you can really write a letter to yourself in those moments about how you're feeling. Talk to yourself like a close friend, and really just delve into what it is that you're feeling in that moment, whether it's about your physical appearance or anything else that you feel might be contributing to the way that you're seeing yourself. Meditation is a great way to just be present in your body. It's a great way to check in with how your body feels. I love guided meditation. You can find them on Spotify. I actually have a playlist that I use for meditation that you can find in the description below. If you're just getting started and you kind of want a little bit of guidance, I really recommend guided meditation for that, because it is a way to walk you through and talk you through the process of being present in your body and finding your own kind of peace. I'm also going to suggest that you spend some time in the mirror. This may be tough and maybe a little uncomfortable. And don't go in the mirror and be like, let me see what I can pick apart. but just look at yourself. Look at the imperfections. Look how maybe one thing is bigger than the other. Look at your body and really spend some time with the body that you have, showing it appreciation for how it's carried you through the day, how it carried you to the mirror. And also acknowledge the fact that you have breath in your body, which means that there is always an opportunity for you to improve it. And so spend some time in the mirror with the body that you have now and just see how it goes. Just see how it goes. Let me know in the comments how it goes. I'm really curious on how your time in the mirror is spent and how it can affirm you and really push you towards your best self. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was inspiring or helpful in some way, shape, or form. Please leave comments below and let me know how you're feeling, if this video helped you, and what you guys want to see more of on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.